Hello everybody, this is King Tut here, and in the last video you noticed that there's an empty parentheses after the class name. You don't have to do it. I somehow put it. I really forgot that I don't have to put it. So you don't have to put the empty parentheses. You could just take out the empty parentheses and it works fine. I mean, it worked despite putting empty parentheses after the class name, but whatever. It is what it is. So I'm just telling you this so that way you guys are just to clear confusion. That way you guys are not confused. Anyway, so we're gonna apply inheritance to polymorphism. So what is a polymorphism? So let me get you a diagram of polymorphism. Um, so these are a bunch of classes. This is the parent class, and all of these are the child class. Or let's just say this is the prime class, this is just the secondary class. So some of these classes don't really use everything from this class or none of it from this class. They even overwrite this class, this prime class, and there's a child class that gets overwritten by the primary or the parent class. It makes use of whatever this primary class is and just shows its default information, just shows the default functionality in all the codes. So we're not going to implement exactly like this. I mean, some of the speed may not be accurate, so just take it with a grain of salt because I don't know much about cars. But we're not going to use the same name. We're going to use the brands that we all know and love. So let's go back to Pycharm, and you see here I made the parent class car, and the initial variable is self.color. So I made the color as the parameter, and I made the type as another parameter. The make and model will be default, just boring default. But here's what's gonna happen. The other class will inherit from this class, but it will overwrite this class. Just for you guys to keep in mind. So I've made print car info, and it prints the make, the model, the color of the car, and the type of the car. And then when I put in the class variable cars and set it equal to car, and I put in the information of the parameter, the values inside the parameter is brown, and for the color and the type, I made it sedan. So it's a brown sedan default car. It's a boring car, unless you guys are into brown sedan cars. If you are into brown sedan cars, let me know in the comments below. And then I call out the function using the class variable. So I'm pretty much calling out the class function in the class variable. So when I run this, it just displays information. So let's make 2 more classes. So I'm going to pause the video. That way you guys don't see me just type and like pull my hair in terms of typing. All right, everyone, I am back. So I already made all these codes, and especially making the codes for the... All right, I'm back. So I typed up the 2 classes, and I also implemented the class over here, made the class variable and call out the class function. And it's a lot, but I'm going to take you line by line. I'm going to take you bit by bit. So right here, I made Ford, the Ford class, and it inherits car. And so this is the class that overwrites the primary class. Not all of it, but parts of it. And I'll show you how right now. So I made the initialization, and I inherit the initialization, the car initialization, but I overwrote the make as Ford, but I added a parameter for the initialized for the constructor, or the initialization of the Ford class. I put model as it. So if you want to put in any values for the model, this class can do that because it's a Ford class. Ford is a car brand. So that's what I did. And notice I did not put the print cart info function in it because this class is using this one. It's using the print cart info. So there's no need to put in a duplicate. So you might be wondering, well, how come you did that in the last video? Well, in the last video, there is one more thing I need to put in to overwrite the parent or the primary class. So what I did here, I put junior in it. So that's why in the last video, the classes in the last video, I put that function, I put that print function in the child class. So that's the only reason why. Other than that, if you're using the same function in the child class, you don't need to put it. You don't need to copy it and paste it in there. You could just leave it there, and when you go into go declare a class variable and make use of the class function, you could just use the class function of the primary class or of the parent class. So that's why. So you don't need to put in there. It just makes the whole code a lot more efficient and a lot more cleaner. So in the other class, the generic class, I just put generic, just make it random. So I didn't overwrite it. So you put pass if you don't want this class to be overwritten by the parent or primary class. And I'm going to be using primary or parent interchangeably. So it's being used by, so all the stuff from the primary class is in here as well. So it's inheriting it from the primary class. And as usual, I put the class variable, I put the class function, I call it the class function for the Ford cars and the generic cars. And just to make it prettier, I put print, I have it print out which kind of car there is before it puts out the information in it. And then when I run this, so you see here, this is the primary class. This is the function variable from the primary class. So it shows brown sedan, like I showed you before. Ford, the Ford class. So right here, since I overwritten 3 variables, the make is going to be the same. I mean, make is going to be different since I overwrote it. So it's my bad. It's 4 variables being overriding the primary class, the variables of the primary class. So make Ford, and it shows the model F-150. I think it's a pickup truck or something. And I made it blue, and I made the type a pickup truck. which it is. It's Ford F-150 is a pickup truck. As for the generic car, the make and model is not overwritten, and I'm just using the two variables, the two parameters, excuse me, from the primary class. So right here, so color and type. So everything on there, I just put it in and it just prints it, the information based off of what I put in the parameter. So it's very, very heavy, but as you do more of it and as you like begin doing game development at a very large scale, at a more cleaner and more efficient way, like a typical programmer, you're gonna be using polymorphism. It's very, very powerful, and it's gonna make your life a lot easier. You don't have to do double work. It's a lot more efficient than just copy and paste every class and all of that. So hopefully it's helpful. In the next video, I'm gonna make this a lot cleaner. I'm gonna show you how to access class from a different module. So this is called a module. I'm gonna show you how to access class from another module or another file. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.